Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
I think that's my goal, I think, for 2023. Not better, just easier.
Just easier. Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
Just something really low and hopefully achievable.
Yeah.
And that way, if I just kind of scooch in, hey, don't bother me. I'm not doing anything. Then maybe things will be all right.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
I think that's a solid, attainable goal.
Don't look our way. We're not. Nope. Don't worry. We're just here.
Yeah. New year, not new me, just easier.
Nope. No, not new me. That would take more effort than I have.
Yeah, we don't have time for that, so.
No. Mm-mm. We're just here to provide content for you, even when that means recording on New Year's Eve.
Hey, Happy New Year to everyone. You are already in the new year, so you are in the future. Congratulations, you made it.
Yeah, but we are in the holiday of Troy and Gabriella, so it's a
so
sacred
true.
time.
So true. We're in that liminal space right now.
To be in a snow-covered ski lodge, not surrounded by vampires. No, we're not in Ferrero Rocher's world. We're in Kenny Ortega's world, where we are surrounded by a karaoke machine and Sprite. Yeah. And we meet the love of our lives. In high school. Yeah. Like we're meant to. Welcome into the Twilight. The liminal space here.
Yeah. Yep.
I know what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to fucking watch all 3 of those High School Musical movies, baby. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Honestly, that's a great idea.
I can't wait to sob violently when I get to that 3rd High School Musical movie like I do every time. How are you?
I am vibing. I am now thinking about High School Musical, which has
You're
derailed.
So welcome.
Thank you. I wanted to bring, a book or two to the space here.
Oh, shit.
What? I can read.
Guess who's literate?
Because I thought, I did a lot more reading than I've done in the past few years, because I used to read a lot. BookTube, it was a whole thing. Repressed that.
I will literally never stop bringing that up.
It's fine. We made it through. But I was like, hey, reading, cool, actually. What if I did it again? And turns out
reading is fun.
Reading is fundamental, and we do it on this podcast, but I also read 2 books that are very vampire forward that were not for this podcast, which seems
what?
Wild. So
what other podcasts are you doing?
Right, yeah. What if I'm work cheating on you with another vampire podcast? No,
honestly, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, this whole time. I just really need to get it out, but this was not doing it for me, so I had to just have another
You had
outlet.
to spend more hours in your week about vampires. Dude,
right.
The grind
so
never
that was
stops.
a fun little thing of events that I did not plan intentionally, but it did happen. So I thought it's relevant to the show.
Okay.
If you want some vampire fiction, I got you, baby.
All right, bring me back to BookTube.
No. Hey guys. Welcome back to my channel. I have 2 books, one of which is Dead Collections, which is vampires. It's trans. It's gay. And the main character is a trans vampire who works as an archivist. Already, you should be sold. that is enough.
Sounds like something we should read here.
It's good, and maybe we will. It's very good. And it's like a little bit of a romance, a little bit of a come to terms with, vampirism or whatever, and the body and all those things. The main guy in it, he's like it's very like Tumblr vibes. Like he's a little bit older, but like he like talks about like writing fan fiction for like a show that he was obsessed with or whatever growing up.
Damn.
And so it's very like this, you know, like it's very this vibe that we do here. And the other one, the title is bad. I just need to preface that, but I need you to stick with me.
Bad is what we do.
Right. It's called The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires.
Okay.
It's fine. It's not good, but it's fine. It's not terrible.
Sure.
And it's like satire comedy about like, you know, housewives in the 90s in this, I think North Carolina is where it's set. And they like start a book club where they all read, like get super into true crime books and murders. And then, a real shady guy comes into town and people start dying. Who's gotta solve it? These women who, in their free time when they're not just caring for their husbands and doing a lot of emotional and physical labor, it's them, these ladies. They're doing it.
Damn.
And it's very fun. And I think it's getting a TV adaptation. So that's fun.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, if you want to be ahead of the curve.
Reading with your eyes in a different way.
Reading is fun. Right. Yeah, exactly.
I love this. I love
Turns
books.
out I was in vampire fever this year, which, outside of this podcast, which feels weird. But hey.
Yeah, you were doing extra credit.
Right, yeah. I did a little bit more homework, hoping I get an A that semester.
Oh, I love this. Those are great recommendations. I will shout out to Libby, first of all.
Shout out to Libby for real.
Thank you, libraries, for existing. This is amazing.
We love a
Thank
library.
you.
Yeah. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing okay. I'm going into this next year yawning.
Sure.
So, just same as ever.
Right. It's a bold but consistent statement.
Right, exactly. There's one area of my life that is consistent, which is yawning. The happy thing that I'm bringing to the space this week is true crime.
Whoa.
Shockingly enough. However, it is a podcast.
Yeah.
It is called Scamfluencers.
Ooh.
And so this is not new information, friends, that I like true crime. However, as I'm getting older, am very mindful of the true crime content that I imbibe, because I try to be a conscious consumer in general.
Sure. Yeah.
And also, I realized that what I actually enjoy about true crime isn't death
right.
and murder. It's about like it's like a German word. It's like the Jordan, like the people getting caught.
Sure.
Is kind of what interests me. And so what I've found is that there are different areas of true crime that aren't just like gore and murders and death. And so this podcast really hits on that in a way that's like good for my mental health and also engaging. And it's Scamfluencers. And what they do is every episode, and some are like multiple parts because it's more of a like well thought out podcast. It's more like news, is they go over some of the like biggest scammers that in the biz.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't really cover death, which is healthy for my brain.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
it does cover some really wacky shit. Like a dude that like scammed his way into the publishing agencies and was like blackmailing people with their manuscripts. What?
Oh my god.
That's wild.
That is wild.
That's some
I'm
and it's
hooked.
like that is the stuff that's like wild and interesting to my brain, but isn't stuff that will like, you know, make me afraid of the dark.
Right.
And doesn't like disrespect people's families.
Right.
their dead people, right?
Right, yeah. And it's easier too when, like, the crime is, like, money or, like, that kind of stuff rather than, like, a person's life. You know? Like, it's still a crime and, you know, it's interesting, like, how it comes together or whatever. But obviously there's not, like, a literal victim as far as a person. You know?
Right. And there are obviously, like, they do content warnings ahead of time because some of these do cover, like, heavier topics. And there are still victims of these. Like, a lot of them cover stuff like money laundering. And so people have been, like, scammed out of their money. But to me, that feels like a lot easier of a story to handle than what I grew up on, which was, like, forensic files and shit like that growing up, where it's just, like, a lot of, like, propaganda for cops and stuff. So I get to hear a juicy story and learn a lot about like what people were interested in like the Anna Delvey?
Yeah.
Like those kinds of stories, which are still
juicy.
True crime, but not, you know, like children dying and shit like that. Yeah. So if you like those kinds of stories, you want to hear them, but you want to make sure that you're good for your health, highly recommend checking it out. The two hosts, I think, have been friends for a really long time, so their dynamic is really interesting with each other.
Yeah, and, you know, one of them is technically a friend of the pod, aka my coworker, Sachiko, so...
Well,
so
that's just an added bonus.
Come on down to the pod.
Literally anytime, like...
Yeah.
Literally anytime. As a avid, like, have book on shelf. Yeah. But yes, so that is I don't often promote other people's work because I just want you to listen to art.
We're the only podcast. Except sometimes there are others.
But as someone who only listens to podcasts because I can't work with music on, I listen to a lot of fucking podcasts, and I should probably recommend them at some point.
Yeah, makes sense.
We don't have any current events this week. No. Because, as you know, as someone who works in news, between the Christian holiday of Christmas and New Year's, all the news outlets, they go to sleep.
They go to sleep. They sleep for the winter.
Yeah. They just like the little sleepy time, goodnight moon bear. They just snooze.
Yeah, take a little rest. They just go sleep.
So I wanted to ask you, as someone who works in news, TM, if you had any predictions for 2023, specifically around our crew, our Twilight crew, and adjacent.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be, what's on our bingo board this year?
Okay. On our bingo board, I think, I won't say they will be in a movie that is finished this year, but I do think someone will put Rob and Kristen in a movie together pre-production, like as a casting. Yeah.
And then you will immediately hear me be shot into the sun.
Right. I think this is the time, because people have said it, directors have said it, that
I agree.
They have chemistry, there's something, and they are in different places in their career now. It's been enough time. I think they can do some weird, freaky shit together. And I think this is where the gears started motion. This is where it's happening. They're turning. It's a bold one, but I think it makes sense given
I agree.
Their trajectories at this current
Hmm.
moment.
What do I want to see happen?
Right.
Versus what I think will happen.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 3 years since Midnight Sun by that point.
Yeah.
I think Stephanie's going to drop something.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to be a full thing, and I don't know that she might even drop it this year, like in 2023.
Right.
But I do think that she might announce that she's dropping something for like a crisp 2024.
Right. Yeah.
And she's talked about it being the like Jacob Renesmee thing, and that's what I'm afraid of.
That's what I'm so scared of.
I'm so fucking, because we're like contractually obligated, and that's what I'm scared of. I think here's what I want to happen. I want it to be an announcement next year of maybe like a short story compilation of the Cullens before they met Bella. So we could get more of like Alice Jasper, Carlisle when he was with the Volturi. Like, I would love short stories from her.
Yeah, totally.
What I'm afraid is going to happen is the money's run out.
Right. We gotta
she's
bring
gonna
that faucet
drop
back on.
She's gonna drop another either like 1 or 2 books. And I hate to put that into the universe, but something in my body is telling me that's true.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm afraid of.
That's what I'm afraid. Yeah, that's...
And if she does it, but here's the thing. Here's the positive. If she comes out with something, then E.L. James can't do anything.
Right.
Until like a couple years down the road. So we have some time before things get like really bad.
Right, yeah, we can at least brace ourselves a little bit for impact.
Yeah.
This one's definitely not going to happen, but wouldn't it be funny if this is the year that she isn't Mormon anymore?
Oh my god. From those like conspiracies that we saw, where she was like the writer of that book coming out. Oh my god.
Right.
See, okay, that's what I actually want.
Right. What if this is the year that Stephenie Meyer becomes ex-Mormon?
She's the one, instead of Jeffree Star, who's leaving the Illuminati.
Right. Like, imagine, like, a juicy, like, Diane Sawyer interview, full hour, the truth is out, like, she goes full, Leah Romney or whatever, but for Mormonism or something.
Can you imagine, wait, hold on. Cody, can you imagine Diane Sawyer having to ask, can you imagine Diane Sawyer having to ask Stephenie about why she named a main character in her books after her brother, who's also named Jacob?
Stop.
Like, award-winning Diane questions. Sawyer.
Yeah. This is what Pulitzers are for. This is what...
I know. I just feel like Stephenie knows, like, she had so much acclaim in like 2020 because of TikTok, and she's gone girl. Like, no one's really talking about her anymore.
Right. She's out. Yeah.
And she needs the money.
Right. So
it's either she puts out a book about coming out. She says, I'm not Mormon anymore. If Andrew Garfield could do it, sometimes I forget he's not actually Mormon.
He was just so convincing in that show.
Okay, if Andrew Mormon
my favorite actor, Andrew Mormon.
Notable Spider-Man, Andrew Mormon. If Andrew Garfield could pretend to do it, then I can too.
Right.
She goes on a whole press tour. I'm not a Mormon anymore. That was a different girl. I used to wear coral lipstick. Now I wear nudes.
Sure.
I'm telling my true story. And that's her book. Okay, that's what I actually want to happen.
Yeah.
My other thing that I really want is I want another Barb and Star with Jamie Dornan.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
But I will take Stephenie coming out of religion before that.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. We have an email here from our listener, Emily. Could you read this for the class?
Absolutely. I can. This is from Emily. Thank you, Emily. The subject here is Emily the criminal, parentheses, arrested by Paw Patrol. So already, we're in for a treat. She says, "Someday I will get to writing out my Twilight backstory, but for now I'm compelled to continue my theme of Halloween stories. Until Halloween of 2019, I thought that Paw Patrol was a spin-off from Frozen, featuring the magical rock trolls, obviously titled Paw Patrol. I was only made aware that Paw Patrol did not exist when my husband told me to look at the Paw Patrol costumes when we were driving past trick-or-treaters, and I was shocked at this point to find dogs instead of trolls. Anyway, let me know if you guys need a second opinion on your wills or a feisty reply letter when Stephanie finally sends her cease and desist. When I'm not the acting mayor of Flavortown, I'm actually an attorney. With love, Guy Fieri, Berries and Cream enthusiast, attorney at law."
Okay, before we can get into this, I do need you to open up our email.
Yes,
From
Emily. I have
Emily.
it pulled up. Yeah.
And can you describe these 2 photos that Emily sent along, please?
Well, first they belong in a museum, that's for sure. This is Emily as the Berries and Cream meme.
Lad.
But
Yes.
yeah, Res. Just really putting the stank on it. Like really just selling it here with the dancing and the movements and the gestures. Big fan of what's going on here.
Oh my god. Emily, so you're not wrong, right? There is trolls.
Sure.
Because I do think the troll, like the dad troll, is called Paw Patrol.
Sure.
But I do love, this is exactly how my brain works too, Emily. So we share the same brain cell.
Right.
That you thought it was called Paw Patrol, right? Because like, fuck the patriarchy.
Yeah. Right.
And that was the same as Paw Patrol.
Patrol, right. They do sound very similar. I have to, you really can't split the difference here. So
And when mumbled by a toddler, I
Sure.
mean, you're
Yeah.
lost in the sauce.
Right.
Also, you're an attorney?
There's so many
How does that...
morsels of information in this. My brain is trying to go through
Are you
all
an
of them.
attorney who, like, your shtick, like your small town attorney shtick, is you dress up as the Berries and Cream lad?
God, so good.
Can you imagine that as, like, a hometown attorney billboard? Like,
Oh my god.
do you have
Injury
mesothelioma?
attorney.
You could be entitled to compensation. I'm the Berries and Cream attorney.
You can trust me. I'll get you all the money you're owed.
Oh my god. Emily, why do we have such fucking smart listeners? Is the thing that
we
really
don't
grinds
deserve
my
this.
gears.
You listen to us.
Like-
I don't think that makes sense.
Like nurses, attorneys, HR
Sure.
people, Marines. What is
Right.
that?
Yeah, what's going on here?
And then there's us.
Right.
Sharing one brain cell.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just got almonds for brains. Like what? God damn it.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. All right. My producer, Andrew Mormon, is telling me to get to our book for this week.
Yeah, he's bringing out the stage hook or whatever.
He's doing the, like,
Pulling us
wrap it up sign.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on.
So, here's what I remember from chapters 3 and 4 of last week is they played the Vitamin C graduation song on campus.
Yep.
Rose got a little heart eyes over Jill's mom.
Yeah.
And then they went to court.
Mm-hmm.
They had that really awkward dinner that Adrian forced on Rose.
Right. Yeah. Me and my parents, we totally chill.
Come see my aunt who's the queen. It actually went fine, lol. Except for that Adrian's mom was like,
Mm-hmm.
don't break my son's heart, please.
Right. Yeah. And we got
then they did the heist.
Yes. And then we got Mikhail up in the crew.
Yeah, and the heist, like, worked.
Right.
Question mark.
Yeah. Got the documents, got the papers. Everything's looking like it's going great.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's all coming up Rose and Lissa.
Right. Which is a rarity
Suspicious.
here. So things could only turn for the worse.
Right. Tell me about chapter 5.
Chapter 5. The girlies are they are researching. They are studying these blueprints, these documents. We are figuring out a game plan here. And
Smart.
Lissa's like fully on board, you know? We have like we're getting the crew together, getting the gang back.
The files are 5 years old. That is important
Right.
to know.
Yes.
So they're like,
you know,
we're going to study them, but with a grain of salt.
right, because anything could change. We don't know how the buildings are currently, but this is what we got, so we got to stick with it.
Right.
And
Yes.
also, Lissa is getting back into her charm making. She's really leaning into it for this heist and situation. Obviously, you know, Rose feels a little bit of guilt about that because it is using like a lot of energy and it could bite her in the butt or whatever. But for a good heist, gotta have some protection from the spirit.
Right. Yes. Then this luncheon
Yes.
is like it's like a dating thing.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like speed dating for Guardians and Moroi, kind of, because like, and also the Guardians are kind of like the cool ones out here in this arena, because they're all in their cool little nice suits. They're all wearing like cool black suits, and all these Moroi are just like coming up to them being like, I'd really love it if you'd be my guardian, like I think we'd do really cool things together. Like they're kind of just like making their pitch to everyone and being like, hey, I want you, and that's it. And obviously Rose wants Lissa and vice versa, but she's not feeling too good about her chances.
So they're just like sitting in the corner.
Right. So yeah, she's like, I'm just gonna stay here. And also I don't think anyone else wants me because I escaped and like did all these wacky things. But she
Can we
also
talk about the fact that Ferrero just dropped in the middle of a sentence that she says all the American schools had sent their new recruits?
right, as if sorry, what?
What do you mean? We knew St. Vlad's in Montana. What do you mean there are other
Right.
American schools?
How many? What? Like this is like the Goblet of Fire situation. It's like all the hits where you're like, these existed this whole time. There were others that were just like, they're all just gonna prance on in here and do their little entrances. Okay, what?
Because I feel like in the second book, the one with the ski lodge, we knew there had been another attack on a school.
Yeah.
So I know that there was like one other.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that was on a resident. No, I think they were all on homes at that point. I don't think they were on schools. I think that was just in the show.
Right.
So she just drops this, and we're supposed to be like, what?
Like, okay, sure. We all knew about this. Totally. Yep.
So is that what the spin-off books that someone had emailed us about are about?
Yeah, perhaps.
Interesting. Okay, sure. All right.
Anyway.
I'll believe you, Ferrero.
Yeah. She has this nice little conversation with Adrian, who's just here. Like, not that he's needing a guardian or going anywhere. He's just gonna, like, vibe at the court.
Last night, his dad was literally like, why are you just bumming around? And now he's literally just bumming around.
Yeah, he's like, well, it's kind of worked for me so far, so I'm just gonna stick with that. Because I don't know what to do with my life. And she's like, no one wants me as a guardian. I only want Lissa. Like, they all think I'm reckless and wild. And he's like, yeah, but everyone thinks, like, you went on a wild Strigoi hunting spree and, like, you're a badass. And also everyone saw you do the trial. So, like, you're pretty hot commodity, I think.
Yeah, they're scared of you, but they also kind of want you.
Right, but they also, like, it's like a, you know, ooh. I don't know what's going on here, but ooh. Mysterious. Terrifying. Love it. Good for protection. And then we get Tasha Ozera. What?
It's been a while.
It's been a while, and also if you remember, Tasha has been previously shunned by everyone, simply by being an Ozera, so has never had a guardian, and did not, you know, the royal courts did not think it was necessary or for her to have one, and they wouldn't, you know, just give someone to her. Turns out the tides have changed, my friends. And that she is getting a guardian pretty much so that she can kind of stop making all these theories about Moroi fighting alongside Guardians. But she's like, yeah,
kind
whatever.
of doing it to shut her up.
Right, yeah, but she's like, I'll just have a Guardian and we can spar. We'll just do it that way. That's fine with me. And then she's like, I did request you, Rose. Bum, bum, bum. Okay.
This is awkward.
Yeah.
Because I think it was the second book. It might have been the third. Honestly, I can't count. Rose really likes Tasha. She's cool. Yeah. Everyone likes Tasha. She's a badass.
Right. Yeah, she's a cool
However,
lady.
If we remember, Dimitri and Tasha had a thing.
Yeah.
And the only reason why Dimitri broke things off, aside from the fact that he, like, loved Rose, was because I think, if I remember correctly, Tasha wanted, like, kids and, like, to settle down.
Right, like a family. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Dimitri was like, well, I want honor, Tiem.
Right.
And
that's not my lifestyle, but...
the idea of having to be the guardian for your dead, sort of, lover's ex-girlfriend that's some real, like, the L word shit.
Yes. Right, it's like that bulletin board of just, like, all the red string.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty messy.
I love, though, that Lissa's like, or that Rose, because I think they get pulled off. Rose and Lissa have to go, like, talk to Tatiana.
Yeah.
And Rose is like, so cool, or whatever, that you want to, like, have me. That's, like, a cool thing for my ego or whatever. However, can I, like, is all your jewelry silver? She's like, yeah. She's like, cool. Can I, like, have all of that?
Can I just take it?
And she doesn't say why to Tasha, but it's so that Lissa can, like, charm all of it because they need it for crime.
Yeah.
But Tasha just, like, she's like, okay, well, I'm not going to take it all off right now, but yeah, I'll just send it up to your room.
Right. It's like, okay. It's like, I don't really want to take all my jewelry off in the middle of this party, but yeah, I'll just give it to you later. Sure.
So apparently, if you're really in demand as a guardian, you can kind of just ask for whatever you want.
Right, like people's possessions and things that they're wearing.
Yeah. And it works.
Yeah.
This scene with Tatiana is weird.
Yeah.
Because Tatiana's still being... cordial isn't even really the right word. It's more so just, like, not outwardly rude.
Right. Right. Holding it back a little bit.
Right. But this is the conversation where Lissa is reintroduced to Serena and Grant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who took over for Dimitri.
Right.
And are supposed to be... like, Tatiana wants them to be Rose's replacement for Lissa's guardians.
Right. And this is so rude, too, because she's like, oh, it'll be really nice for your birthday. Like, you'll have protection. You can party. It'll be a really nice treat. Oh, Rose, you can come, too, if you want. Like, it's just so... it's so rude. It's like, I'm right here. What are you doing? Like...
And Lissa's really excited because, like, I think it's Lee University or Lay University. That is the one that Lissa wants to go to. And she's like, hell yeah, I want to go see that.
Yeah.
But Tatiana's only doing it with the purpose of getting Serena and Grant kind of, like, into her life and Rose out of it.
Right.
Rude.
Ugh.
I want to know your thoughts about Eddie.
Eddie's kind of like the talk of the town now. He's kind of...
Everyone wants Eddie.
He's kind of cleaning up right now. everyone's like swarming him. They're all like, I want you to be my guardian. I want you to be my guardian so bad. You're so cool and sexy and good at fighting. So apparently he did very, very well at his little trials and stuff, as we kind of gleaned from the last time.
Well, because unlike Rose, he had really good grades and really good scores in the test.
Right. So yeah,
and
he's definitely a catch. Yeah.
Good job, Eddie.
Yeah.
We love you.
It's very nice. They have that little conversation, but then Rose is like, I think I need him for this.
I think I need to ruin his life.
I think I need to put him in danger again.
And she's feeling so guilty about it.
She feels so bad. She's like, you should say no to what I'm going to ask you. You really shouldn't even listen to what I'm going to ask you, and you should say no to it. Like, this is not something you want to do. And every time, Eddie's like, yeah, whatever, Rose, for sure. I'm down. Like, you saved my life countless times. Let's do it. I'm here for you, and I want to help you, whatever it is you're doing. And she's like, but you don't want to. Don't do it. And he's like, no, I got it, for sure. Whatever. And she's like, God damn it.
Let's go.
Eddie
Eddie is already my favorite character. I didn't need what Ferrero does in this scene, but she's just determined on, like, breaking my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like initially they were standing, like, side by side, because they're still supposed to be, like, working, sort of.
Yeah.
But what Eddie does here kills me, because Rose is doing the whole thing of she's like, nothing's wrong. And something's very much wrong.
Right. I'm fine.
What Eddie does is he turns to her and he takes her chin, and he, like, tips it up with his fingers to get her to look at him. And he's like, what do you need? This man? Are you kidding me?
Eddie. And he's like, just tell me when. Ugh.
The way he doesn't need to be better than he is. And yet he keeps doing it.
Right. It's fucked up.
But he knows, like, Rose wouldn't ask unless it was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he also knows that, like, she will keep him safe. Because they've already gone through shit together before.
Right.
But now he's going to put a whole life of safe, theoretically, life, but a boring one aside to go with her, and he doesn't know what it is. Right. This man.
Ugh, my heart.
I love him.
Okay. We are at the heist. We are pre the heist. We're leading into the heist.
Yes.
Eddie's there. The gang's there. Liz is there. It's the middle of the night, which means it's the middle of the day. It's very light outside. And they meet. They go up to, they're, like, making their little covert plan to go meet Mikhail, in this sort of, like, compound thing. Slip into this garage, and he's just kind of like, we have the gang together. He's like, okay, we're gonna all fit in here. We're gonna make this work. We're gonna make this drive. This is it. They're in, they put him in the trunk of this, like, whatever car this is, a Dodge Charger. He, like, pops the trunk and is like, get in. This
is so fucked up. 3 adults now. Eddie, Rose, and Lissa.
Right.
Into a trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Mikhail's like, yeah, no, it'll be super quick. I just need to get through the gates, and then I'll pull over, and it'll be super fast.
Right, don't worry about it. You can fit 3 adults in this trunk.
Yeah, how big is this trunk?
Right, like, what is this? What's going on here?
They don't die, thankfully.
No. Yeah, they get out. It's fine. It's just annoying.
And then they're on their way to Alaska.
Yeah, they go to the airport, and they're like, it's go time, baby.
Yeah. It's time for a crime.
It's time for crime. And that is what Chapter 6 is all about. It's crime time.
It's crime time.
They're on a little flight from Seattle to Fairbanks. They had to take a few flights to get to Alaska. And this is the final stretch here.
Yeah, this would have been a lot faster if they hadn't been in Pennsylvania. If they'd still been in Montana, would have been less travel time for them, but...
Yeah, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know?
Right. It is... I feel bad for Eddie in this moment because he doesn't know why they're doing this. He just knows that they're going to Alaska.
Yeah, has no clue what the plan is.
Yeah, he's just
dedicated to the cause. Yeah.
Right. Which, honestly, it was a good choice on Rose's part to choose Eddie because he's down to clown. Anyone else, like Mia at this point, would have been like, tell me what we're doing, or I'm calling literally anyone.
Right. Yeah.
It is helpful to know that Rose did leave Adrian a note saying her and Lissa wanted a girls' weekend before their college visit.
Yeah. Don't worry about us. We're chill. We're just gals being pals.
Yep.
Everything's fine.
So, that's helpful, I guess.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, things are going so great for them. When are we going to hit our first roadblock?
Right.
And it is surprisingly as soon as they get off the plane.
Yeah.
These kiddos are 18.
Right.
That is not old enough to rent a car.
No.
And I don't know that they had thought that part through yet.
Mm-mm.
So they are stuck in Fairbanks talking to several different rental car companies. And they're like, no.
Right.
No.
Please?
No. No, thank you.
Yeah. And also, I know we're saving up the compulsion juice or for the heist or whatever, but, maybe flex it a little bit for this, I feel like that could be an easy little confusion to make.
I feel like that is a wild roadblock to have hit when you all knew you were going to need a car.
Yeah.
At this point.
Given all their sets of skills, this feels like something we should have planned for, but whatever.
Yeah.
But they got a car and they got a room at some motel and went over the plan.
Yes.
And basically they're like, oh, okay, it runs on the vampire schedule. It's still, a weird time right now. So we'll readjust with the time zones and get to business and see what's up.
When they scope things out.
Yeah.
It's not, they're still they realize that they're gonna need to drive in. There's no way to actually break in proper.
Right.
Which I feel like, yeah.
Right.
It's, yeah. Yes, friends. All of them have charms now that they're wearing.
Right.
Which is helpful to know. They are all eating, I think, donuts and are just waiting for early evening for humans to be able to do the plan.
Right. I do love too that Rose bought this GPS.
Oh, yeah.
And she's so excited about it. She's so pumped. She's like, guys, you can know exactly where coordinates are. You know exactly where we are. This is wild. The future is here.
I love her.
Yeah.
I had no idea how this was going to go, to be honest.
Right. Because up to this point, we didn't get an actual debrief of what the plan was. We're like, there's a plan.
No.
And we just see it in action as it's happening.
The one thing I didn't know that you could do with compulsion, but I believe you, is they had brief, like very simple disguises that they're wearing. But also part of Lissa's compulsion is that it's making people think that they are different people.
Right. And notably that they are human.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, because Eddie is supposed to still be a guardian, but he doesn't look like Eddie.
Right.
And Lissa and Rose are supposed to be feeders.
Yes.
And even though they had like an old form trying to get in, it still works.
Right. Yeah, they basically just like chuff it up to like a clerical error or something, being like, dang, these systems always whack, you know. Ugh, hate to see it.
Yeah, apparently it works. And they just need to go into like the office to sort it out. Because they weren't supposed to get feeders this soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, apparently, it's okay. Because it's like nighttime, it's like their night shift. Mm-hmm. The warden's not there.
Right. It's so like, we have a few hours to make something happen.
And Rose and Lissa are like pretending to be feeders, and so they're acting like they need a fix.
Yeah, they're hamming it up, for sure.
Right.
Being like, I need it so bad right now. I can't believe. Surely someone's hungry. Maybe one specific person is hungry. one specific. Because at this point, they're like, okay, fine. If you shut up, we'll get you a feeder. He's not supposed to, or a person to be fed with. He is not set to get fed for another 15 minutes, but if you'll shut your trap, I'll get him out right now. Is that okay? And they're like, well, who is it?
Right.
She's like, what?
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah, it depends on who's tasty enough. And Lissa does some good composure work being like, hey, I know Victor Dashkov is not supposed to get fed for like another hour or so, but what if he wanted to feed right now? What if he was like really hungry right now and it was not like a weird thing to request and swap him out? And the guardian's like, yeah, for sure, I'll make that call, absolutely.
Since they're split up now, they don't know what Eddie's still doing in the office.
Yeah, he's bumbling with files still, trying to be like, I work here for sure.
He's just playing with one of those like abacus things on their desk.
Yeah.
But in the feeding room, it's Rose and Lissa, and then there's the like guard who manages the schedule, and then there was another feeder who was just like there. And I think Lissa had made it so that the feeder went to sleep because she can't. It takes more power for her to compel two people at one time.
Right. Yeah.
So, I think his name was like Bradley Cooper, the feeder. He went to sleep.
Famously. Yeah.
And so it's just the guard now until Victor shows up. And poor Lissa, dude.
Yeah. And from Rose's POV of this, it hurts so much more because, like, we're watching her watch Lissa, like, visibly tense up, but, like, try to keep it cool. And also her being like, we did so much work to make sure that he would be locked up forever and that he wouldn't hurt her again. And now we're just going to undo all that right now.
Well, yeah,
on a promise that we don't even know
like,
works.
Lissa's in the, like, main area and Rose is behind one of the curtains.
Yeah.
So that when Victor comes in, she will be there with him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad for Lissa right now.
Yeah.
But Victor doesn't even notice Lissa. Like, he doesn't really even give her a second glance.
Mm-mm.
So she was working, like, extra hard. And I thought this was super interesting because when Victor went into the, like, curtained area with Rose, he was like, dope, feeding time.
Yum yum.
Like, he didn't clock that it was Rose, and then all of a sudden, like, he did. Like, the compulsion, like, stopped working for him.
Yeah, it was like a middle ground, like illusion kind of thing, whereas like
Mm-hmm.
both tricked him into thinking that she wasn't who she was, but like still seeing through it and like seeing both at the same time in a way.
Yeah,
And
it was like
Rose
as
like,
soon as
uh-oh.
the illusion, as soon as he saw through the illusion, like he couldn't go back.
Right.
Into
yeah. Once you
seeing it
see
again.
the ballet dancer spin in one way, you can only see it. You can't go back, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then he gets like very excited.
Yeah. 'Cause he's like, this is gonna be the best.
Even though it's obvious when he walked in that he's like malnourished, he's not doing well.
Yeah, still very sick.
Right.
Yeah, but he's like, oh shit, this could be the best thing I've ever had. Let's go.
Right.
Um,
And then
and
this
Rose is like,
chapter
"You listen
ends
up."
so buck wild.
Yeah. Rose like,
Because
listen
Rose,
up, jackass.
yeah.
If you put your
Yeah,
teeth
she's like,
anywhere
if
near
you look at me again, if you put your teeth anywhere near me, I will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But I do need you to do exactly what I say.
Right.
He's like, all
if
right,
you want to
bet.
get out of
What?
here.
And then she just like says something which I did not expect, which is she says, attack me.
Bum, bum, bum. What is this plan?
What are they going for here? What? We are now like in the middle of this prison, in the middle of nowhere, Fairbanks. What are you all planning right now? So we are really left on a cliffhanger here.
Yeah.
We have chapter 7 and 8 next week, where fingers crossed they will get out of this prison. Or not, and
God.
maybe the book ends, you know? Maybe the rest of these chapters are just like pretty pictures that we get to color.
Yeah.
Could you start off our lovely patrons who have been
Absolutely.
a joy this year?
Yes. Thank you to Katie Black.
Ooh. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Ooh. Thank you to Mulch Gray.
Mulch. Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Ooh. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Cassandra O'Shea.
O'Shea. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh. Thank you to Rachel Ashford.
Ow. Thank you to Vivian Yulee.
Ooh. Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Samara Rinaldi.
Ooh. Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ow. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh. Thank you to my mom, your mom, our mom, Kelly Beck.
Mom. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh. Thank you to Lara Forty.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh. Thank you to Maria Swan.
Ow. Thank you to India Peach.
Ooh. Thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ow. Thank you to Jaylene Ivishkov.
Ooh. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Pew, 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 pew.
I have a fanfiction here that was written by the user Sterna M. Morgan. It is titled, "'Cause Baby, We're Just Reckless Kids." The summary is, as far as Mason knew, there was no girl in Eddie's life. He didn't notice his friend being interested in anyone right now. But looking into this notebook and staring at this page, to Mason, those words seemed to be words written for a loved one, a love song. Closing the notebook and finally finding the notes he was originally looking for in one of the other notebooks, with a burn in his heart and an uncomfortable feeling in his stomach, Mason started raking his mind on how he could find out who this song is about. Or, Mason finds a love song written by Eddie. 5 times he tries finding out who it's about, and 1 time Eddie tells him.
Cute.
This is from the 5th time when he does tell him. Mason, I'm gay, okay? Stop trying to get me a girlfriend. Oh? Yeah, I just didn't expect that. Mason frowned. Why didn't you tell me anything? Eddie shrugged. I thought you knew. I didn't. Well, now you do. Eddie turned to leave, but Mason grabbed his hand, stopping him. Thank you, Eddie. I love you always. Mason smiled softly, and he realized he did. He did love Eddie. Not just in a friend way, but in a, he wants to kiss this ginger boy silly, hold his hand all the time like he did right now, run his hands through his hair after sleeping with him, cuddling him at night and protecting him from the nightmares Eddie occasionally had. Love him. He was fully, utterly in love with Edison Castile. And finally, the uncomfortable, sick-to-his-stomach feeling Mason felt every time he saw Eddie with a girl made so much sense to him. End scene.
Aww. I need it.
Everyone is after Eddie this week.
Hell yeah. It's Eddie's week. Everything's coming up
Eddie. Everything is coming up Eddie, and he deserves it. Well, friends, it's been a great year.
Yeah.
Not in any other circumstances other than this podcast.
Right.
So, thank you for that. I know you're listening to this on the new year, but thanks for spending the year with us. That's cute, or whatever.
Yeah.
And we've got so much exciting stuff planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, who can say? Well, get reading on our chapters for next week. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
And get whipped.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.